Hi friends, we are going to start our new unit on converting metric units of length, and with that we're using meter. So most other countries use the metric system. Some people here do, but in the United States we have a lot of different ways for measuring. So for measuring length we could do inches or miles or yards. For weight we do grams and tons. But the metric system, which is used all over the world, is, in my opinion, it's a way easier way to convert measurement because it's all using base 10. Okay, so I have a chart up here and it may look kind of funny to you, and I did send it to you as well. And this is the way that you remember what is a bigger unit. And it has KHDUDCM. Okay, and it's kilo, hecto, deca, unit, deci, centi, milli. Okay, now a way to remember that, because you do want to remember them in that order, is remembering the phrase, King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. Okay, so when my kids learn this, especially at the very beginning, I always have them think of that phrase and then they write the initials at the top of their paper. Okay, so King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. And then I have them underneath it write what it stands for. So K is kilo, H is hecto, D, the first D is deca. The second D over here is deci, and I just think it goes in alphabetical order. Okay, the A comes before the I. And then the unit is the unit of measurement we're working with. So either if we're working with meter, gram, or liter, that's our unit. That's what we're looking at. And then C is for centi, and M is for milli. Okay? So the thing that you need to remember is that the further to the right, that unit is bigger. Okay? So if I have, and the way that I want you to think about it, because you guys know a ruler. Okay, so a ruler, one ruler, has 12 inches in it. Okay, so that ruler, if I said, what is more, one ruler or 1 foot? Okay, only one of it, but is it bigger than 1 inch? Okay, well, a foot is bigger than an inch. Okay, but if I had 12 inches, it's equal to 1 foot. Okay, I need more of the inches to equal 1 of the foot. Okay, so this is a bit bigger unit. This would be like my foot, and this would be like my inches. I need more of these to equal 1 of these. Okay, so the reason that I say it's easier because it's base 10 is because everything going from left to right, if I'm converting, which means I'm changing something in one unit of measurement into another. So for example, if I have 12 inches and I want to convert it into feet, it's 1 foot, because I know 12 inches equals a foot. I've changed it now, my inches to feet. Well, now if I want to change, if I have meters and I want to change it to a decameter, okay, how many decameters equal this many meters? So I'm going to show you how to do that because it kind of sounds funny right now, but I'm going to show you, and it's either going to be multiplying by 10 or dividing by 10. Okay, so let's say, sorry, it's a little hard doing it in my room because I don't have a lot of space and I don't have a lot of place to keep my supplies. Okay, so let's say I start off with 530 meters. Okay, that's my unit. And I want to see how many, if I convert that to centimeters. Okay, well, these are smaller pieces, kind of like on your number line when you do your place value. If I have $1 and I want to change it into dimes, I'm going to have more dimes. It's not worth more because I have more, but they're smaller portions, so I need more of them. Centimeters is smaller than a meter. So for 530, I'm going to have more centimeters digit-wise, okay? So every time I move to the right, I'm going to multiply by 10. So if I were changing 530 to decimeter, I'm going to multiply by 10, but we know with our mental math, that means to add a 0. And if I'm going to move again one more place, then I'm going to add 2 zeros to my meter. Okay, so it would be 53,000 centimeters. And if I wanted to change it to milliliters, I would add, that's what I started with, and I'm going to add, because I'm going to multiply it by 10, 100, 1,000, I'm going to add 3 zeros. Okay, so kind of a little trick for you is if I'm going this way and I'm adding zeros, I'm pretty much adding a 0 every time I move to my right, no matter where I start. Okay, so if I start right here at my unit, and I'm going to move all the way to millimeters, okay, I'm moving 1, 2, and 3 places, which means I'm going to add 3 zeros. Okay, I'm going to add 3 zeros there, which gave us our amount. Okay, well now I have a lot of meters and I want to move to a bigger unit. I want to see how much that is if I convert it into a, let's say, deca. Okay, when I move to the left, because my unit of measurement is bigger, my number is actually going to get smaller. Okay, so I'm actually, when I move to the left, I'm going to be dividing by 10. When I move to the right, I'm multiplying by 10. Okay, so if I divide by 10, if I added a 0 here, right here, I'm going to take away a 0. So 530 divided by 10 is 53. Okay, now I want you to think about something before I move on. Now remember, if I don't see a 0, a decimal, my decimal is after my whole number. Okay, right here, my decimal was here. When I move, my decimal actually moves right there, doesn't it? So when I'm changing from a deca to a hecto, okay, when I'm moving from here to here, I'm dividing by 10 again. And when I move to the left, I'm going to be moving my decimal to the left. So now my hecto is 5 and 3 hectometers. Okay, and then if I move, I'm going to move my camera over a little. Hopefully I don't drop it so you guys can see the kilo. Okay, and if I move one more over, it's going to be 53 hundredths. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, let's try that. And just so you know, we don't always have to start in the middle. Okay, but I'm going to show you a couple tricks. I'm going to do a couple with you. And again, if this is something that you're looking at and you're like, I am so confused, please, please, please come to the math meeting, because this is going to be for the next 3 units of conversions, or 3 lessons. Okay, so let's start with another number. Okay, our other number is, let me get a good one. I'll look in the book and get one from the book. Okay, so let's start off with 15 meters. So they're starting off right here. 15 meters, okay? And they want me to change it to milliliters, okay? So remember, I'm moving to the right, so how many zeros am I gonna add? Let's see, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm gonna take 15, and I've done 3 times 10, times 10, times another 10, times another 10, which is going to give me 3 zeros, 15,000 millimeters. Okay, let's look at another one. And the best way for you guys really to get this is to take, I'd have scratch paper out and be doing it with me, because it really does help for you to actually physically do it. And if you have to stop the video and try some on your own, I would do that. Okay, so the next one is 2,000 Okay, so this one's starting all the way over here. And it's starting on 2,040 millimeters. And they want to know what that is in meters. So now I'm going to, in 3 places to the left. So if I'm going to the left, am I going to be multiplying or am I going to be dividing? You're right, it's dividing. Hopefully you got that right. If I move to the left, I'm going to be doing dividing by 10. Okay, so instead of pulling out and doing the division, I can actually just move my decimal. Okay, because it's going to get, if I'm multiplying it by, or dividing it by 1,000, because that's 3 zeros to the left, okay, I'm actually going to be moving my decimal 3 places to the left. So here's my decimal, and I'm going to say 1, 2, and 3. So my answer is 2 and, you can have that 0, but you really don't need it. 2 400 millimeters, or meters, sorry. Okay, how are you guys feeling about that so far? Okay, I'm going to do a couple more with you. I'm just going to extend my chart because I am give us a little bit more room. Sorry for the crazy instruction here. Okay. Let's get some tape, because that's not going to stay. My goodness. Okay. So let's try this again. And I want to give you a couple because I know this is a hard concept sometimes. And when, especially when I teach this at school, this is a hard concept. So I can just imagine being at home. But I have noticed from whenever I do it that the more practice you get, it really does get easier. Okay? And I'm not just saying that because I'm a teacher. It really does the more practice you get. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to extend my lines. Okay, so let's do a couple more. And if you want to follow along, actually, I'm just doing textbook page. I'm just picking out some of the problems on textbook page 265. Okay, I'm just using some of the pages on problems on 265, and so you can follow along if you want. All right, so I did number 1 and I did number 3. Let's go ahead and look at 8 and where am I? 8 6/10 kilometers. 8 6/10 kilometers. Okay, can you see that? Kind of. 8 6/10 kilometers. And they want to know what that is in meters. Okay, so they want you to bring it all the way back here. So if I am moving from the left to the right, remember I'm multiplying by 10 each step. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. So times 10, times 10, and times 10, okay, which means times 1,000. But the one thing, so I could, what I've seen before is adding 3 zeros. The only problem is I have a decimal here, okay? So I need to move my decimal as well, okay? Because when I add my zeros, that's what I'm doing. I'm moving my decimal over one place because that's a placeholder. So I'm going to move my decimal, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to put my placeholders there. Okay, so my answer is 8,600 meters. Okay, hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with this. Okay, let's look at, I'm going to look at number 12, which is 41 centimeters. So we're right here, 41 centimeters. And they want to know what that is converted to meters. Okay, so they want it to be right here. So I am moving 2 places. 1, 2, 2 places to the left. So I'm dividing by 10, and then I'm dividing by 10. So I'm actually dividing by 100. Okay, So I don't have any zeros to take away, because usually if I was dividing by 10, I could just take off a 0 and take off a 0. So instead, I'm going to put a decimal, okay? And if I divide by 10, I get 4 1/10. And if I divide by 100, I get 41 meters, 41/100 meters. Okay. I know this is kind of, sorry, I'm trying to like talk to you. I do know that this is kind of tricky, especially learning this way. I am going to also videotape myself doing a couple of problems with you, and on another little kind of educations like I normally do. And then I think the more you practice, you'll get it, okay? And then this is what we're going to be doing with the different units of measurement. Today we did meters, and then we're going to do liters and grams, and it actually is exactly the same, which is kind of nice, okay? Because once you understand the base 10, you do the same thing on all of them. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow. Again, if you are doing this and you just maybe wanted to clarify, make sure you understand, please come to the math meeting at 12. Okay, bye guys.